Hello and welcome back to Untold Wealth. I'm one of your hosts, Vince,
And I'm Devin.
and today we'll be discussing nudgeonomics, how to push your customers to buy. Devin, how are you doing today? Are you in the consumer spending mood this holiday season?
I feel like I've been nudged in every direction conceivable during this Christmas period. I have been Christmas shopping on a few occasions now, and I think we're gonna figure out why I'm feeling so nudged.
Yeah,
And you?
I have been since probably like late October because the Christmas season keeps getting pushed further and further up the year. But yeah, I'm excited to chat about this. I'm excited what you've brought to the table. And I love the phrase nudgeonomics. I don't know if it's a real thing. I just kind of typed it in and it sounded good. But the way that I see it is that nudgeonomics is a slice of economics that covers the psychological techniques and strategies that help or potentially push consumers over the edge to purchase a good or a service. And let me ask you a question. When you're browsing for a microphone or a laptop or just scrolling through Takealot or Incredible Connection, what's one of the major things that you think sways your opinion on whether you're going to purchase a product or not?
The major thing, it depends if it's like a big product and I've done a little bit of research and I can see, value compared to other different shops and stores and, maybe some reviews. But the main thing is either the price tag or the big for sale. For sale symbol they have somewhere, 30% off stamp or whatever. I think that's kind of what draws me to the products, especially for online shopping, I would say.
And like businesses have a lot of great ways to push customers to buy. Big for sale signs, great, possibly like manipulative pricing, and as you mentioned, ratings. Whether it's like the number of positive reviews or star ratings that appear right next to the product. I think for me at least, that's my most influential factor, especially when it's a product that I've done, kind of minimal research on when you're just shopping for something and you want to get a good quality product, but you're not willing to invest the time to make sure that, what you're doing is the proper processes. Star reviews are amazing. And recently, with over a quarter of shopping happening online, those reviews are becoming more and more important. Studies have shown that reviews can directly impact revenue, not only for businesses, but for restaurants and dentists and all the other things that have these ratings or reviews attached to them. A 1-star increase for a restaurant on Yelp can increase their revenue by between 5 and 9%. So there's a direct correlation between good reviews and financial gain, which might incentivize some foul play,
A
potentially.
little bit of bad behavior, I reckon.
A little bit of unfair tactics used in the market. And that is what I'll be chatting about today. Reviews and how specifically they can influence people. The one statistic that I found while researching this that will blow your mind is that around 30%, a third of online reviews that you see are fake.
Don't say it. Oh, I knew you were going to say it. But that many?
That many.
It's disgusting.
So no matter
so much.
if you're looking for a place to eat, a dentist to like fix your teeth or whatever, or a microphone to buy in our cases, at least a third of the reviews that you're looking at are probably faked in some way or another.
So let me summarize what you've just said up to now. You've said it leads to a 5 to 10% increase in revenue for companies. And you've also told me that companies are, or maybe other people are for some reason, faking 30% of reviews.
Exactly. Crazy, right? So Today I've brought two little stories, cautionary tales, potentially, that highlight how misleading reviews can be, no matter how fun a term nudgeonomics is. And the first story is about an online creator called Uber Butler. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's had quite a number of viral videos put out.
I haven't heard of him.
Infiltrated like Paris Fashion Week. He's recently actually sold the like urine of Amazon workers on Amazon as like an energy drink. But the one that I wanted to tackle today is his venture into faking a restaurant on TripAdvisor. He created a restaurant on this website, and through getting his friends and family to leave very positive fake reviews over like the course of a couple of months, he became the number one restaurant in London. The Shed at Dulwich, it was called.
In London? You mean London. One of the cities in the world which has like the most per capita like Michelin star restaurants like in existence.
Out of 18,000 restaurants, he was number one. And he used a lot of tactics to do so. He, faked the dishes by essentially like using household props to make it look very like fancy and Michelin star worthy. And he basically made the restaurant appointment only and drew people in. And there's an amazing video on YouTube that you can see right now, kind of covering the whole story of this restaurant. But what ended up happening is that it got to number one. It had these glowing reviews talking about the like homeliness, the quirkiness, the ambience, and more famous people were trying to get an appointment. And within 6 months, it became number one. However, he at one point had to kind of just give this big reveal, and it became this amazing article piece for Vice, where he talked about the entire system and how he manipulated the TripAdvisor ranking system to get himself to the number one spot. Do you want to guess, out of 18,000 restaurants, how many positive reviews he needed to actually get to number one?
I think it's going to be surprisingly low. I don't know. Let's say 3,000. I don't know if that's a lot or not. Actually, I have no idea.
3,000.
I haven't been anchored anyway. 3,000. Let's say 3,000, yeah.
A lot less. He only needed 96 5-star reviews to get to the number one spot.
Okay, that's ridiculous. What the hell?
So, TripAdvisor, in response to this, obviously shut down the restaurant, and they kind of reinforced their emphasis on detecting and preventing fraudulent activity on their platform. But through this video, which I highly recommend our listeners go and watch, you could see the fact that one person, through a bit of trickery, could manipulate the system and essentially draw everyone's attention to this one thing. Just by kind of not even going out of their way to like bot and actually get like thousands and thousands of positive reviews, but just only a couple that were quality. The other story that I have to share about some scandalous review practices was not by a single person, but by an actual company, Samsung, which, as many of us know, is one of the world's leading electronic companies. And they were actually involved in a scandal where they were using deceptive online marketing tactics. This occurred in Taiwan, where Samsung has quite a few competitors. And what they were doing is essentially just bombarding their competitors with negative reviews. And there's actually a term for this in marketing called astroturfing, where these big campaigns of people are kind of sent out to create a false impression on growing businesses that might be a competitor to Samsung. Grassroots industries, things like that. I mean, this happened in
I've heard of astroturfing, but isn't it usually like in the positive for one's business? Like, I don't know, this could be completely wrong, but didn't Red Bull kind of, I think it was in a Scandinavian country like Sweden or Norway, where they put Red Bull cans in bins, like empty Red Bull cans in bins, and this kind of like sparked a little interest in Red Bull. Is that an example of astroturfing? I can't quite remember. It's like fake popularity.
I
Is
I don't know, to be honest with you. I think
Okay.
the just the term astroturfing is like you're replacing like real, like genuine grassroots businesses with this kind of fake astroturf. So
Oh.
I think there's a negative connotation associated with it.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I could be wrong.
there might be some companies that have used that kind of potentially negative, I suppose, limelight to promote their business. But in this case, Samsung has not. And in addition to posting negative reviews about their competitors, those same people were hired to also write positive reviews and comments on Samsung's own product to boost their perception, get more and more people to buy. And unlucky for Samsung, they could not kind of keep up this ploy for very long. And eventually, Taiwan's Fair Trade Commission launched an investigation into Samsung and found that, yeah, they'd been engaging in these very deceptive marketing practices. And Samsung, unfortunately, ended up being fined a not insignificant sum, 340,000 US dollars at the time, but something that I think is a fairly low ball, especially when you consider in today's world how influential not only online shopping has become, but also how influential that ratings and kind of aggregate consumer like opinions are for various businesses and services and products. I think if this happened today, or if there's a more recent example, the fine that would be issued to these companies will be a lot higher.
There must be something recent that's happened with it. I mean, you go look at Amazon reviews, or or your local distribution sales company. Like, there's gonna be there's so many. You can point them out. They're ChatGPT out of the wazoo. I swear Amazon has had a lawsuit about that, but I mean, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, and we haven't even got into the fact that certain influencers on Instagram and things like that have been outed by boosting their follower account, which is a direct correlation to the influence, quote unquote, that they have, as well as like the, I suppose, amount that they can charge to sponsors and advertisers who want to promote a product on their platform. But nevertheless, I think it's important the next time that you or our dear listeners go out there into the wide world of online shopping, especially during the holiday season, and see a product with like 4.7 out of 5 and 100 reviews, to just maybe take a moment and scroll through and see if any of them catch your eye and potentially, flag as something maybe not entirely genuine. But yeah, any thoughts on that? Any kind of concluding opinions
No.
about that?
That's. I mean, I'm still mind blown by the initial statistics. To be honest with you, that's still rattling me. I mean, you got to think it's a lot, but I mean, 30% of every review. I'm sure it's similar to social media comments and things like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's wild, and you really you can only trust a company or organization to police bots and these, fake reviews. But sometimes it literally is just impossible, And as you said, people derive income from this stuff, from the validity of the comments and the fans and the public and, whoever buys their product. It's crazy. They're consumers.
I think personally, in this kind of modern world, a lot more people are turning to the people that they watch, influencers and things like that, for essentially like a trusted review on a product. Like nowadays, you click on a YouTube video, you see an ad for, I don't know, Squarespace or BetterHelp or all these different companies. And it's almost as if a friend is recommending that to you. It's like word of mouth, but disingenuously so. So I would even caution when a YouTuber, promotes a product to do your own research on what that product is and what the service that they're offering, how that can actually help you. Because it's kind of a tale as old as time nowadays where these products get recommended and later on we find out that the business practices that they were employing weren't that ethical. Your data got swabbed, or they were selling you something that was a bit of a lie. But nevertheless, I think it's a very fascinating topic, nudgeonomics, and I'm very curious to hear what you've brought to the table.
Thank you for watching part 1 of the episode. We really hope you enjoyed. We've left part 2 in the description below. Please check it out. And before you head out, leave us a comment, subscribe, a like, and let us know what you'd like us to discuss next time. We'll see you in part 2.